Destino is both the destination and the journey. Destino is coming to the realization that God has a plan, and you need to move towards that. Well, I grew up in Argentina in a multicultural family. My grandfather moved from Spain to Argentina. Also, my father and the whole family moved from Italy to Argentina as well. And it was there when my dad came to Jesus, and the whole family started serving God. And in those young years, God spoke to me and said, hey, I want you to move to the United States. And I started serving churches in Florida. And then after 2 years, I moved to Minnesota and I started serving Latino churches. And one of my roles was leading in worship. Through the music and through ministry, I met now my wife, Jacqueline.
At a very young age, I felt a call towards missions, and I was convinced that God was going to take me overseas to serve Him in some capacity after graduating from college. But what God spoke to my heart is that I'll bring the nations to you. I want you in Minnesota, and that's where I'm going to use you as a missionary.
When I was serving in Latino churches in the United States, I started noticing this connection between the first generation and the second generation of Latino immigrants. And at first I didn't understand exactly what was going on until we got married and had our own kids. And then realizing the beauty, but also the complexity of speaking more than one language at home and embracing all the cultures represented and create something new. And then we realized that the church should be like that. That's when God called us to start Destino. Officially, Destino started in 2014. And at that time, we didn't start actually bilingual, but we really quickly came to the realization that we needed to have both languages well represented everywhere. That way, we can really connect with everyone. And that started like a movement, because people started to come from all over the place. And now we have over 17 nations represented at church. The Destino Leadership Institute was born out of this realization that in order to really bless the second generation, you have to invest in the first generation so they can be more equipped and prepared to be the parents that their kids need. In the Destino Leadership Institute, the parents are realizing that they are not stuck in their story. They can move forward and they're realizing, hey, I can start my own business. Hey, I can do something beyond of what I'm doing right now. That's amazing.
Yeah, we hear a lot of testimonies of the parents who have taken classes in the Destino Leadership Institute and saying, I never thought I would have the opportunity to study beyond high school. And here I'm holding a diploma in my hands with a certificate in basic theology. And so as we're preparing students, we're also preparing future leaders, we're preparing future pastors, future missionaries. And so this is having a huge impact really throughout the world.
When you realize that you have just a brief amount of time on this earth, whatever we do has to be powerful enough to continue blessing people even when you're not here anymore. If we are planting a church just for a few years, that's too short of a vision. We're planting a church that has to be serving the community until Jesus comes back. So we need to make sure that we are doing something that is beyond ourselves. And that's my hope for Destino, that when the time comes to when I'm no longer around, Destino continues its mission. Because people before me, they did that. And I want to do that for the next generation as well.